Streets of New Capenna is finally here, and we were given a few of the family leaders as spoilers last week. One that caught my eye was the party animal himself, Jetmir, Nexus of Rebels. The idea of building a giant token army in Naya isn't exactly something new, but I loved how Jetmir gives you bigger and bigger payoffs the more creatures you have on board. So let's take a look at our chosen commander and then get to work building a $100 budget list. Jetmir, Nexus of Rebels is a 4-mana 5/4 legendary cat demon with several static abilities based on the number of creatures we control. If we have 3 or more creatures, creatures we control get +1/+0 and have vigilance. If we have 6 or more creatures, they get an additional +1/+0 and gain trample. Finally, if we have 9 or more creatures, they get an additional +1/+0 and gain double strike. In other words, if we have Jetmir on board with at least 8 other creatures, creatures we control gain +3/+0, vigilance, trample, and double strike. Sounds like a go-wide strategy to me. Of course, you could go the vehicles route instead, but that didn't sound as fun to me. Before we get into our deck list, let's keep in mind our checklist. 50 mana sources, usually split between 37 lands and 13 pieces of ramp, 10 pieces of card advantage, 8 to 10 pieces of spot removal, 2 to 3 board wipes, 2 pieces of graveyard hate, and 1 sudden I win card. Quick side note before we get into the deck list. I said at the beginning that this was a budget build. At the time of recording, the deck was just over $100. The most expensive card in the deck is Jetmir himself, followed by Jetmir's Garden, the new Triome. I expect both Jetmir and Jetmir's Garden to drop and hover around $7 or $8 each, so that should bring the overall cost of the deck down to about $85. Let's take a look at cards that generate tokens. We have Rampaging Baloths, Giant Adaphage, Quartzwood Crasher, Omnath Locus of Rage, Skewed Swarm, Gyred Conclave Exile, Thragtusk, Arasta of the Endless Web, Dragonlair Spider, Felidar Retreat, Fresh Meat to rebuild after a board wipe, Curious Herd, Increasing Devotion, Sandworm Convergence, Court of Grace, Emeria Angel, and Zendikar's Royal. For our cards that offer us synergies and payoffs, we have the new Cabretti Charm, as well as the old reliable Mob Justice and Dogpile. Intangible Virtue goes great in any token deck. Finally, cards that increase the number of tokens we already have on the battlefield include Second Harvest, Growing Ranks, Full Flowering, and Song of the World Soul. Now, we're not running a lot of those because you don't want to be staring at a handful of Populate cards with no tokens on board. And our Sudden I Win card with all of our tokens is March of the Multitudes. As an instant with Convoke, we can tap out all of our creatures on an opponent's end step, create a massive army capable of finishing off our opponents, and then win out of nowhere. Our spot removal consists of Abrade, Disenchant, Beast Within, Naturalize, Artifact Mutation, Decimate, Cleansing Wildfire, and Selesnya Eulogist, which serves as our first piece of graveyard hate. For protection, we've got Boros Charm, Druid's Deliverance, Unbreakable Formation, and Swiftfoot Boots. Our board wipes consist of Hour of Reckoning and Gyred's Belligerence, both perfect for token decks. To dig through our deck and keep our hands full of cards, we're running Shamanic Revelation, Rite of Harmony, Harmonize, Rishkar's Expertise, Mouthfeed, Colossal Majesty, and Rumor Gatherer. For a bit of graveyard recursion, we've got Timeless Witness and Emeria Shepherd. For mana ramp, we're running Soul Ring and Arcane Signet as our only mana rocks, along with Goblin and Archimancer for cost reduction. We're not exactly a landfall deck, but we do have quite a few token generators who are, so most of our ramp puts lands directly into play. For example, we have Cultivate, Farseek, Kodama's Reach, Wood Elves, Rampant Growth, 3 Visits, Migration Path, Skyshroud Claim, Circuitous Route, and Harvest Season. Our lands consist of Command Tower, Exotic Orchard, Jungle Shrine, Jetmir's Garden, the typed Snow Duels from Kaldheim, the Bridges from Modern Horizons 2, Guild Gates, Evolving Wilds, and Terramorphic Expanse for mana fixing and additional landfall triggers, Myriad Landscape with the same purpose and for more ramp, 4 mountains, 11 forests, and 6 plains. There are many other land options I could have gone with, but I wanted a lot of basics because we have so much ramp that only looks at basics. Additionally, Cleansing Wildfire works very well with our own bridges, or if we need to get rid of an opponent's annoying land. Finally, 3 of our ramp pieces care about land type, and the Snow Duels are a great budget option for that. So with our deck complete, let's compare it to our checklist and see how we did. 50 mana sources, 37 lands, and 13 pieces of ramp, right on target. Only 9 pieces of card advantage, but some are repeatable. 12 pieces of spot removal, 2 board wipes, only 1 piece of graveyard hate, and 1 Sudden I Win card. So we could use a little bit more graveyard hate, but overall our deck checks most of the boxes. It's a lot of fun to play, and having a giant board with a variety of creatures is just the best feeling in the world. As far as upgrades to this deck, I'd take a look at cards like Tendershoot Dryad to make tokens every turn, Divine Visitation to turn all your tokens into angels, or token doublers like Parallel Lives, Anointed Procession, or Doubling Season. How would you build Jetmir Nexus of Rebels? Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, there's a link to her Fiverr page below. I'm doing a push and trying to post new videos every weekday for the next few months, so look forward to lots of new videos in the near future. Or you can click here for more Commander content. I've also started a Patreon. You can click the link below or go to patreon.com/Danon. Stay safe, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.